Hello, hello. I hope that you're all doing really well. I am so sorry that I am a little bit late. It's just I've been having these technical issues trying to like sort everything out, but I'm here now. I'm here now. How are you all doing? How is everybody? I wanted to say that I'm not in Bali, hence the clothes. It's so cold. I'm in the UK to see family and friends. So yeah, like oh my god, it is so cold. It is like literally I left. Okay, I left when it was like 30 degrees here. It is now kind of like 5, 6, 7 degrees. I don't know how much that is in Fahrenheit for the American viewers, but at where you are watching. So that would be amazing. So good to see you, Taneshba. Hello, hello, everyone. It's like literally just gone 5 a.m. in the morning. Well, it's 20 past. I am so jet lagged at the moment. I've got my coffee here. Excuse me. I've also got an aircon cold again from the aeroplane. Oh well, we're not moaning. Hello, silent figure. We're not moaning. We move, my friends. We move. This is what we do. Okay, so I'm just going to welcome in the new people. Like, if you could press the like button, smash the like button, I would be so grateful. 6:20. Oh my gosh, yes, it's really early. I know. I know. So I want to get back. This is what I wanted to kind of say. I wanted to get back to some sort of a schedule on the live streaming because obviously I know that this helps a lot of you. And I know obviously discussing it, and those of you that may not have access to kind of therapy or someone that can kind of talk about it, or we can, someone that can explore the ideas or the thoughts that are coming up for you. So this is something that I do want to kind of like implement a little bit more. Um, I do want to kind of like get back to more of a regular schedule on these live streams. So please look out on the community tab because I will be putting that out. So hopefully, good morning, Andrew, and hello, Andron. Shirt sleeve weather here in southern Arizona. Yeah, I love to hear. I always love to hear, from where you guys are. Okay, so yeah, so this is just something that I wanted to say to you guys that I'm going to be going live a little bit more often and a little bit more on time. So I do apologize for that. I do apologize. So today, what we are doing, we are talking about the trauma bonds. I know. Okay, and I really wanted to talk about this because, like, I know so many of you, like, suffer with this, and it is something that unfortunately comes hand in hand in these narcissistic relationships. Okay, it is something that it is so challenging, but I think once you understand what a trauma bond actually is, it makes it a lot easier then to work through it and move on from it because you have all the information. You know what it is. Okay. So once you know what it is, it's easier for you to kind of, this will really, really help you in terms of moving forward from this. So that's why I really wanted to do this live for those of you that are it's not say to you is that this get better in time. It does. It's one of those things. It's one of those ones where you've got to take your time with this, okay? And know that you will get through this. Those of you that have been through a trauma bond, please put in the chat if you have and what things that have really helped you, because I think it really helps in terms of excuse me, like connecting with others and others to understand that this isn't something that is permanent. A trauma bond isn't permanent. It is something that you move forward from. And I really want to talk about, we're diving in deep tonight about why it feels impossible to break and how to step basically into your power again. Okay. So today we choose clarity, strength, and self respect. Okay. So, what I really, really want to look at, okay, the manipulation. We are also going to try and do a emotional regulation exercise that I want to implement and put into this live stream. I will be obviously throughout your questions, so please do put them in the chat. And one thing that I do want to say is, if I don't answer them like when you put it up straight away, it's probably because I haven't seen it or I'm mid flow kind of talking with something. I do try really, really hard, obviously, to answer your questions because it's very important. This is like my top priority. However, if you did want yours to be answered straight away or have priority over others, please do put it in the super chat as well. Those of you that are also subscribed to the Patreon mentorship and you're also subscribed to the Journal Club, obviously I'm going to be able to see yours a lot quicker. Journal Club, obviously I'm going to be able to see yours a lot quicker. Of the star next. So just saying that, yeah, like I will be answering questions. And also towards the end, I really want to talk about stepping into self-worth and because this is what is really, really important. Okay, so guys, I really hope that you do stick around for all of the live stream because obviously I would love to chat with every single one of you. I hope that you do find this useful. Obviously, please keep smashing that like button, obviously, because this helps to get that information out there because I know that there are some people who are really kind of not doing well with this. And I know my heart goes out to all of you. So, guys, just wanted to say good morning to those of you that are here. It's morning where I am. It is literally like 5:26 in the morning. Jet lag is real, my friends. I don't feel tired. I'm literally so pumped. I woke up probably about an hour ago. No, like an hour and a half ago. Water, maybe even a herbal tea, and you're just gonna just relax into this live stream. Okay, so you that are here, I want you to inhale safely. I want you to exhale tension and know that you. Okay, so let's start off with what a trauma bond really is. Okay, what really is it, and why is it that you are feeling it right now? Okay, first of all, what I want to say is that a trauma bond is not a weakness. You know what it really is? It's survival wiring. That's what it is. It's survival wiring. Because if you really think about it, let's talk about how a trauma bond is really fused within the relationship. You know what? Excuse me. It starts off really early, actually, in the love bombing stage. You know why? Because when you start to have feelings for someone, because that's happens obviously in a relation, when you start to have feelings for someone, or let's even look at this in a family context. When you love someone or when you have strong feelings for someone, you naturally are gravitated towards them. You love them, you want the best for them, okay? So you develop a sense of trust for this person and you have this vulnerability, an emotional vulnerability, and you're open to that person. So if we look at this in a relationship sense, narcissist comes in, putting you on a pedestal, blowing your praise, like singing your praises, blowing you up, making you feel amazing, putting all this attention onto you. Think about it for one moment. This feels amazing. This feels exhilarating, right? And you feel like you have been seen for the first time in your life. You feel like you have been seen. And once you are interconnected with the narcissist, okay, once they know they have got you, what happens? They do a 360, right? And things change very, very quickly. And so that is the beginning of the fusion of the trauma bond because you've got to know this person in this way. meaning you've developed schema or an impression of this person. Okay, you got to know them, that they are so lovely, that their feelings are mutual, that you can trust this person, that they make you feel good. That's how you've got to know them. So that's how you interpret that person. This is what schemas are called. This is what we call in psychology schemas. And it's very hard then when somebody changes, because what happens, this confuses the mind, because you have got to know them in a certain way. That person changes. It's very hard then to go back and rewire that impression that you have formed of that person. That's why trauma bonds are so strong. And what this is called is something, it's a bond that is formed through intermittent reinforcement. That's why it is used, that's why it feels so strong. So you feel like this person is your everything. And at the time, you don't realize that this is going on. So when we're at the end of the relationship, or for example, in a family setting, say you've had an argument with your family member, because this person holds so much weight, so much emotional regard you used to have for that person, you feel like they have betrayed you. In a way, in a sense, they have. So when you are trying to get over this person, your mind always brings you back to the person that you once knew, to the person that you thought that they were, to the person that you got to know right at the beginning of this relationship. So to get over that is exactly happening. Okay, you're remembering who they were right at the beginning. That lovely person, that person that made you feel good, that person that, put you on a pedestal, that saw you. You kind of forget, or you kind of don't want to think about that they are this person who had caused all this trauma. And it's funny enough. Do you guys find, so I'm going to ask you a question. So put a yes or a no in the chat. Okay. Even though this person has done this to you, all you want is them to make you feel better. But the double edged sword is they are the ones that have caused this trauma in the first place. Put a yes in the chat if this is you, if this is what has happened, and if this is what you have felt. Because all you want is them just to make it feel better for you. But they're not. S Day. I'm so sorry. I've literally, like, I've said your name wrong. I'm so sorry. I'm so, so sorry. It was wild when she came along. I was cooked. It was only 6 months in that, and I found your channel and started to learn. Yeah, like a lot of you have said yes. This is the thing. Yeah, you don't realize that once you're in it, like, what is going on? Like, why is this happening? And a lot of you, yeah, they always have to pull the carpet from under you. Yes, that's exactly what happens. And you don't realize this at the time. You're thinking, okay, well, what really is going on? Like, you're two different people. And that's where people say, like, oh, there's two or three different personalities in this person. And that is the reason why, because they keep changing, they keep swapping, they keep um oh, sorry, thank you, Steve. Sorry about that. Thank you. Um, yeah, they keep changing it all the time. Um, and it completely fries your brain. And I completely understand, Steve. You feel yeah, just well as your brain cells were kind of like literally like, what is going on? And that's what happens because of this intermittent reinforcement. And what happens is you also get addicted to the hope and the relief, not the person. um and so you're always living in this hope that this person's going to change, that it is going to feel better. Like, do you know what I mean? That's why that actually happens, and it feels like your nervous system has learnt the chaos. And because of that, it feels like love. That's what happens. And I think what we have to remember, okay, is that love didn't hurt. Okay. Love isn't supposed to hurt. Okay. Love isn't supposed to feel like this, where you have to constantly be checking yourself, constantly be kind of trying to understand that other person's, triggers, and not to say something, or what do you when you say it's a survival wiring. That's what it is, because you've learned. Interestingly enough, this is how the narcissist basically grew up. This was actually their childhood. Okay. So what they are doing is they are mirroring their childhood and bringing it into the relationship. Can you see that you as a person had to change, obviously, to please the narcissist? You were not accepted. You weren't allowed to be yourself. You had to change. And that's exactly what they did as children, because their parents did that to them. They had to change. And that is the issue. That is the problem. That is intermittent reinforcement. And it works on a punishment and a reward. And that's what gets triggered in our brain. And I'm talking like neuroscience here, neuropsychology, guys. This is exactly what happens. So you get rewarded, okay, when you do something right, when you are compliant, when you do what the narcissist says. You get rewarded for that good behavior. But when you don't do what you're supposed to be doing, or you don't behave in a certain way, they punish you. And that's what's happening here. It's the intermittent reinforcement all the way throughout the relationship. So like I said, the trauma bond starts with the love bombing right at the beginning, and then this is reinforced within the relationship. So then think, you've come out of the relationship, you're not with them anymore. How are you supposed to cope when this is what you have been used to for however long you've been with that narcissist, for however many weeks, months, years? That has been your ultimate way of functioning for however long you've been with that person. Okay, now you have to change. Now this all has to be different. So it is something that will take time, but what will really help is realizing that this is a trauma bond. This is what is happening, and it's going to take time for you to kind of process it and get over. That's why. Okay. Um, Anjon says, my life was pointed towards finally understanding this. I believe it was my soul level job. Yeah. And completely, Anjon 967. If you see this that way, it is something that you have to heal on a soul level and see the lesson in why this person was in your life in the first place. This is what I mean. This will really, really help you to get out of victim mode, to stop you feeling stuck in that mentality. You're not a victim, okay? You are a victor, okay? The fact is that you're not more, or you have linked that person. Victory, okay? That is you stepping out of that fog, out of that daze, out of that spell from that person, because ultimately that's what you were in, a spell, a daze. You didn't know what was going on. And that's why, you know when you finally understand, when you know what is going on, that will help you, that will give you the power to move forward. And that's what I said right at the beginning of this live stream. Once you have all the information, once you understand what's going on, okay, you then will be able to make better choices for yourself moving forward. That is what is important. It was more than one narcissist. I'm really sorry, Mark. I really, really am. And that's the thing, once you learn and once you see the patterns of behavior, not what someone says, but the patterns of behavior, it will be so much easier for you to be able to move forward from this. Silent Figure says decades, and yet they never change. You end up needing therapy. Yeah. Yeah. Because it's not about them. Okay. Because you know that they are never going to change. It's about you. It's about how you then understand yourself, how you then cope with this or process this moving forward. Okay. And I think what we need to take from this is that you deserve healthy love, not this type of love. Okay. Put that in the chat, my friends. Those of you that are feeling this so far, put in the chat, I deserve healthy love, because I'd love to hear from you. because that is your empowerment. The more that you write it, the more that it sticks, the more this affirmation comes into your reality. Okay. And that's what we need to do. Put it in the chat if this is something that you're feeling. And those of you that are here, please do press the like button. Obviously, it will really help get that information out there. I just wanted to say, if you guys are liking this content so far, these are the kind of videos that I make for the Patreon mentorship. It's more about empowerment. It's more about not necessarily getting you to understand what narcissistic abuse is, because like that's what my videos over on YouTube are, but it's more about, you know, you moving forward, you getting stronger in yourself, and it's about changing your mindset as well, because it's about how you see this, it's about how you perceive, because remember, perception is a very important thing in our reality. So it's about how you perceive, how you see things. So that's really what the mentorship is about. It's more about like neuropsychology. It's about understanding why certain things happen, and it will help to empower you. So those of you that are interested in that, please see the description box below, because that's where I've got all of the information. That's and the links and everything. So if you wanted to join, I would love to have you there. That would be so amazing. Anjon 967, my older brother married a horrible narcissist, so somehow our upbringing pointed us towards feminine narcissist. Bless you. Do you know what? That's the thing. When you have that in your life, and you kind of have it for a longer period of time, you kind of get used to that. You kind of understand that, oh, that's how it is, or that's how it should be. And it kind of predetermines that you kind of accept it, and you think, oh, that's how it should be, you know, in other relationships. So I'm sorry that that was, you know, something that you had to go through, like, because yeah, you're more predisposed, because what happens is you kind of accept it, so to speak. It becomes normal. Not that there's something wrong with you, it's because you've been so used to that. You've seen it so much in your life that you actually get used to it, and that you think that this is normal, that people should be treated the way that they treat you. And then, and I know, like, it's so scary, or it's so upsetting that when you finally realize, you know, that this isn't right, or when you like the penny drops for you and you think, oh my god, this isn't right, this shouldn't actually be like that. It's a really weird, I've got to say, it's like, you probably realize this as well, like it's a completely weird feeling, isn't it? Like, to know that someone is like this, you just think, no, maybe I made it up in my head. And so that's where the trust, that's where the self-trust comes in. You know, my friends, it's challenging. It is challenging. I love that. Thank you, Sub3Z. I deserve healthy love. Guys, please do keep putting that throughout the live stream in the chat, because this is so important. This is your affirmation, okay, for the day, for the week, you know, for you to kind of embed it into your mind cognitively. I deserve healthy love. This is something that maybe you guys could journal on, maybe over the weekend. Um, you know, something that you guys could actually really embody. I deserve healthy love, because this is something that should be said every single day to yourself, you know, because just because you didn't have it doesn't mean that you can't have it going forward. Absolutely. Tanae Spa says, I deserve it, but I don't want a boyfriend again. I am 70 tomorrow, had enough of knocks in my life. Oh my God, Tanae Spa. Oh my God, happy birthday to you. Guys, can we wish Tanae Spa 1190 a happy birthday? So it's your birthday tomorrow, the 1st of November. Oh, wow. Happy birthday to you. Sending you lots and lots of love. Absolutely. I'm going to be sending out some memberships out to you guys. So those of you that I've just sent it out, those of you that got that, I hope that you enjoy the membership. So thank you so much for being on the live stream. These are all for you. So I hope that you enjoy the live stream and the mentorship. Okay, so let's talk about why leaving feels impossible. Because it does. Because it does. Let's not beat it around the bush. It feels so impossible. The one thing you got to remember is what you've got here is a chemical addiction. Yes, my friends, you're in an addiction cycle. This is all about the dopamine and the cortisol. The dopamine makes you feel $1 million. That's the euphoric feeling. Okay, so you're chasing that dopamine, you're chasing that high. Okay. And then when things feel really bad, that is where you've got the cortisol in your body. So it's two polar opposites, dopamine and cortisol. They cannot coexist. You either feel one or the other. When you're feeling the cortisol, this is what makes it feel so devastating, so sad. You feel drained, you feel so low. So you're always chasing that dopamine of when it feels euphoric, when it feels amazing. Dopamine, when you feel like an adrenaline and you feel excited. And you don't know why. That's what the dopamine feels like. Cortisol, on the other hand, it's got this spiky kind of feeling and it feels draining. It feels, yeah, spiky. I guess that's the only word that I can describe it as. Do you guys know what I mean? Or am I like really sounding like really strange here? Do you know what I mean? Like you feel so weird when you've got that cortisol. But what happens is you get so hooked. You get so hooked on that feeling. It's either one or like a roller coaster ride. You know, when you go on the roller coasters and you're going up and there's all this excitement, like, oh my God, like all this anticipation. That is the dopamine. And you know, when you're going down, that is the cortisol. Like it's the most weirdest feeling. I can't really explain it. So I really hope that you guys are with me on this one. Okay. It is something that we do get addicted because like I'm not gonna lie, like it feels good. But you got to know that this isn't good for you, meaning health wise, it isn't good. And what happens as well, why it's so difficult to leave at those moments is because you've got a loss of identity. You lose yourself. You've lost who you are. And it's so sad. And I know that a lot of you have experienced this and it's so upsetting. Okay. Um, you don't even feel yourself, you know, but of course, because the narcissist makes it all about them. Like it's never going to be about you. They're never going to put you forward. They're never going to put you in that position where they care about you. It's never been about you. And that is the thing with these people. All right. They cannot cognitively do that because when you are miserable, when you're depressed, when you are narcissistic and all of your attention, all of your survival has become focused on you, meaning themselves. That is their main priority. They got to make sure that they're doing good. They got to make sure that they're okay. That's why they do that. And for you, what that means is cognitive dissonance. And the cognitive dissonance is the brain fog. Okay, it is like a fog. It's almost like you are functioning half or quarter of what you normally would have. And that's why the loss of identity comes into this as well. You're kind of thinking, maybe they weren't that bad. Maybe I got it wrong. Maybe they weren't a narcissist. I hear this so much in my practice with clients, where they're like, oh, maybe they're not a narcissist. Maybe it's me. Maybe I've done something wrong. And it will cause you to doubt yourself because that's what has been happening throughout this whole entire time. Maybe for some of you, sadly, all of your life. You have been told that you shouldn't think like that, or whatever you're thinking makes you feel a certain way, like you end up doubting yourself. So that's why those statements, maybe they weren't that bad, come into your mind. Maybe they're not really a narcissist, but in your heart, you know. And I want you to trust that, my friends. I want you to trust that deep in your heart, okay? You know who they are. You know how that person made you feel, and you know what they did to you, okay? So this is where I want you to build trust within yourself. This is the most important thing, okay? Rather than think, well, narcissists, these are just labels. My friends, these are just labels. Whether they are, whether they're not, whether there's something else, doesn't matter. It's about how that person made you feel and what they did. You know the truth. And along with that comes the shame and the longing for closure. There's the shame that, why did I stay too long? Why did I put up with this? Why couldn't I see this sooner? I can completely understand. This is something that I also felt in my own experience. I thought to myself, Jesus, I'm studying psychology. I was doing my master's in clinical psychology at the time. And I was thinking to myself, how, like, hello, Anushka, like, how could I have not seen it? You know, like the embarrassment that I felt. So I completely understand where you guys are coming from and what you're going through, and the longing for closure. That is a real thing. You want to know, like, why? What's happened? And I've done a lot of videos about this, talking about that you're not going to get closure and why they do not give closure. Actually, these whole videos from this week, I don't know if you guys had a chance to watch them. Okay. That's what I've been talking about. Like, they're not done with you. They're going to be coming back. There is no closure. There's this one thing that they need from you. And that is it. The closure, like, think about it. The closure is finality. They're not going to be giving you closure. You know why? Because they're going to be coming back. They're going to be coming back for round 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 if you let them. They're going to come back because they're going to see if they can still manage to get your kindness, your attention. Why? Because this is their addiction. This is what they crave, your attention. There's something about you that they want. Okay, but please don't think this is love. Please don't romanticize this, because that's not what this is. Okay. If they don't get it from you, they've got a list of other people that they're going to be contacting, because this is their addiction. When you're a kid and you don't get enough of it, when your parents don't give you attention, when parents give you like a lot of attention, you learn to receive that. You learn that that is your way of being as a child. So when that is changed, when you don't get enough of it, or when you get a lot of it, you're going to still want the same thing. You're still going to get as a kid. And that's what's going on for them. So if they give you closure, saying, I'm really sorry, I can't do this anymore, things are really difficult for me, that means it's going to be really weird if they contact you in a month, 2, 6 months, a year, even later. It's going to be really weird, isn't it? They're going to be like, you're going to be like, what's going on? And also, it will allow you to move on. Now, think about how sadistic this actually is. They're not giving you closure because they don't want you to move on. You know why? Because they want to claim you. They want to claim you so that you don't move on, you don't go elsewhere, so that they still have access to you when they want, when they decide to come back. You know what I mean? What is that about? What is, which I think is a good thing, right? Is a positive thing. I don't think she'll be coming back. No. Ishbal says, love from, oh, sorry. Yep. Love from the Netherlands. The Netherlands, June. Today's process, don't forget your belongings and money. It's narcissists like having people around, they'll try you even after a long time. Yeah, they do. It's such a odd thing. Like, look, I'm not saying that, like, people get in contact with you that you used to know. Yeah, that's quite a nice thing. But when we're talking about a narcissist that has caused so much harm, so much upset, what are you doing coming back? Why are you here? You treated me this way, or you cheated on me. Why are you back? What do you want? And that's how you've got to think. You cannot romanticize this and think, oh, you know what? Finally, they've seen the error of their ways and they're coming back to me. No, that isn't what happens here. They don't do things like that. Well, you think suddenly they're going to be working on themselves and thinking, oh, you know what? I've hurt so many people in my life. I really need to make amends. This is not what, no, my friends, people don't do this. These people do not do this. So closure, the closure is, the closure is that they're a narcissist. And that's what you've got to remember. How that person treated you, how that person made you feel. That is the closure. Because if they really loved you and they knew how to love you. They would never put you in a position to lose you. And they did. Because don't think it's just you because or don't think that there's something wrong with you and it's just you. No, they do this to everybody. They do this to everybody. Think about it, right? If you think back to the relationships that they have in their life, this is exactly what they do. Okay. So trauma that you've experienced in this isn't a lack of strength. It's your nervous system trying to protect you. Okay. So I want to ask you guys a question. Okay. What's been the hardest part for you? Has it been the heart, the head, or the habit? What has been the hardest part for you to leave the narcissist? Put it in the chat, my friends. Put it in the chat. Or it could be even something that you journal on, something that you can think about. The questions. NSD, what a surprise you're live at this time. I know. Dennis, you know what? I just thought, oh, I'm gonna do it. I'm suffering jet lag because I flew over from Bali 2 days ago, and yeah, I'm on Bali time. So right now it's the afternoon. So I'm kind of I'm like what I'm like literally awake. I know it's very early here in the UK. It's like nearly 6 a.m. But here we go. Here we go. You know, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine. Everything's all good. So I thought, let's get on a live. Let's get on a live stream. I missed you guys. I've got to say, I've really missed you guys. Really missed talking to you. I really have. Those of you that are watching this are going to be watching this on the replay. I really am sorry that I did it at a time that you weren't able to join. So I will be back next week at different times. So do check the community tab because I do want to make this more of a feature because I know you guys really enjoyed the live streams and I know that there's been like a really big break. For those of you that didn't know, I had actually moved to Bali and I had been there and with the time difference and me moving around has caused me to not be able to have like more of a regular schedule. But now that I found kind of like a more stable or a more regular accommodation, yeah, I've got the villa now, so I will be able to do this a lot more often. But at the moment, I am in the UK, so I'm here for 3 weeks visiting my family, and my friends have really missed them. I've got to say, like, I didn't realize that I had missed them. 'Cause, you know, like when you get in, you know how you get in with life. You know, you just get on with things, and you're just doing it, and then you're just getting on with everything, and then yeah, you know, you kind of forget and get caught up in Bali life. I've got to say, time does flow differently in Bali. Not gonna lie.